Jesus and some of his disciples. And these are 10 outcasts. They have a disease called leprosy. Let's see how God is at work in the story of the 10 outcasts. In Jesus' time, people who were sick with leprosy were not welcome anywhere. Everyone was afraid of catching leprosy. Even doctors. But maybe Jesus could help them. Jesus had healed many other people. Instead of healing them, Jesus told them to go to the temple. On their way to the temple, something amazing happened. Nine of the outcasts continued on to the temple. But one turned back. Only one of the 10 outcasts remembered to thank Jesus and praise God. is Jesus. And these are some of the officials from the temple. They are suspicious of Jesus. And here are 3 friends who need Jesus' help. Let's see how God is at work in the story of a man through the roof. One of the 3 friends was not able to walk. But maybe Jesus could help. Jesus was teaching in a small house that day. There were so many people, the 3 friends couldn't get into the house. Some of the temple officials had come to the house to see what Jesus was teaching. Since the doors and windows were blocked, they decided to try the roof. Jesus told the disabled friend that his sins were forgiven because of his faith. The temple officials said only God could heal the sick and forgive sins. Jesus then told the man to stand up and walk. three friends walked home together, rejoicing. This is Jesus and his disciples, and these are two children who came to hear Jesus preach. Let's see how God is at work in the story of Jesus feeds 5,000.
Ting, sebenarnya. Wagla, kinjalepe.
People had come from all over to hear Jesus speak.
Glanda Vladabo.
But when everyone got hungry, people began to worry.
Maha, paskalisto.
A boy brought 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to the disciples. But how could that feed 5,000 people? Jesus took the food and blessed it.
Grande vada. Rebekam.
But then a miraculous thing happened. The food was given out to the people, but it never ran out. Jesus had made enough food for everyone. Jesus started with 5 loaves and 2 fish, and there were 12 baskets left over. This is Jesus, and these are some of the officials from the temple who are suspicious of Jesus. And here are Lazarus and his sisters, Martha and Mary. They are all friends of Jesus. Let's see how God is at work in the story of Lazarus. Mary and Martha's brother, Lazarus, had died and was buried in a tomb. After 4 days, they heard that Jesus was coming.
Huh?
Dapat sabihin niya.
If Jesus had arrived sooner, he could have healed Lazarus. Jesus cried because Lazarus had been his friend too. Jesus asked to see Lazarus' tomb. The officials from the temple followed them to see what Jesus would do. When Jesus asked them to open the tomb, Martha said Lazarus had been dead for 4 days and would smell terrible. Jesus told Lazarus to come out of the tomb. And he did. News quickly spread that Jesus had raised Lazarus from the dead. This is Jesus, and these are two of Jesus' followers. They learned from Jesus how to be closer to God. Let's see how God is at work in the story of Teach Us to Pray. Jesus' followers wanted to know, how should they pray? Should they pray in the street so everyone could see?
Meh.
Should praying be a big show? Should they yell and shout? Huh?
Come on. Huh? Dama, diesfla. Dama. Samda.
A cà bà u a di a ơi i a o a i o a bà o si a
두비?
Jesus told his followers to find a quiet place and pray to God in secret.
Mà si bà cao ra bà sẽ đưa bà